Friends, Editing Me here, and I wanted to put this in before the video starts because I must warn you that the volume on this video is really low. So this is your cue to try to heist up that volume to like 100% so that you can hear me. I was going to scrap the volume and then do a voiceover, but I want you guys to hear the authenticness of what's going on in this, as the authenticness of this video. So I decided to publish it as it is, but I will warn you that the volume is very low. Hi friends. Okay, so we're starting this video walking down the street. You can already see the streamers decorating our streets because September celebration is near, and it's going to be a big one. I probably will be putting links if you guys want to see what we do during the September celebrations in the description below, so you guys can, you know, see how Belize like to party. And we're just walking down the streets. Now I know that in the first version I tried to be authentic and I'm just basically giving you some street view. I'm actually in one of the major commercial areas here in my country. It's actually early morning, and as you can see, the street is pretty much empty. People are starting their day. The street isn't really crowded. There is a sleep period for the Belize city, so it's not always lively. And now I'm walking over the swing bridge. Now this bridge is about 200 years old, I dare say. It was built like in the 1800s, and it was manually swung, and it's actually going through some, I heard on the news that they were going to be doing some renovation of it, but as you can see, it's still very much in use. Now I'm walking over the swing bridge, and across from the swing bridge you can actually see the Paslow building. Now this was one of the earliest building in the country of Belize. It was actually burnt down a few years ago, so they rebuilt it, and after they rebuilt it, they put this new building there. I will insert a picture of how the Paslow building used to look before it burned down. I think it was probably named after one of Belize's first judge, Paslow, I don't know. You will see that that old clip coming up just about now.
And they rebuilt that building there in its place. But I'll look on the internet and see if I could find a picture of it and show you what the Paslow building used to look like. Okay, so
now if you turn left from the Paslow building, you will come up upon one of Belize's oldest Catholic churches. This is the Holy Redeemer Catholic Church, and it's the oldest Catholic church in the country of Belize, but it's not the oldest church. We will be seeing that shortly. And I think it was built in 1887. I will definitely show you because they have the date this church was built plastered on the front of it. It is a beautiful building. The one thing I wanted to do here, as you can see, yeah, I'm showing you right there, 1858. My gosh. It's one thing I wanted to do. I wish I brought something to sketch because it is a gorgeous building to sketch. Right next to that is the Holy Redeemer Primary School. Now I'm giving you a glimpse of the Halova Creek. Now this creek has major historical significance in the country of Belize. It connects the Belize River to the Caribbean Sea, and back in our colonial days they used to use this creek to ship logwood. So the logwood camps would be in the inner parts of the country, and they will use the Belize River to send the logwoods down, and from the Belize River into the Halova Creek and out to the sea. And as you can see, the sea is right out there. Yeah. So it's very historical significant. We don't ship logwoods and mahogany as much anymore. I don't think we shipped it anymore because mahogany is now a national plant. And it is a very historical and now you gotta get a very good view of the Holy Redeemer Cathedral.
I wish I brought my drawing set. I didn't bring anything to draw with, guys, because if I would have brought my drawing set, I definitely would have drawn this picture right here. So what I think I'm going to do is take some visual shots of it, and maybe when I get home, draw it.
Okay, walking down from the Holy Redeemer Cathedral, you're seeing some of the colonial buildings that used to be, that were basically in Belize, popular in Belize. A few of them are still remaining. They look kind of old and run down, but they're actually very beautiful buildings. This guest house here have went through several repaints and renovations, but they still maintain its historical significance. Many of the colonial buildings in the country of Belize, or in Belize City, I should say, have the same basic design. That's another one. And it's because during our colonial days, this was basically the first capital. Belize went through 3 capitals. The first one was St. George's Caye. The second one was Belize City. And now our third and final capital is Belmopan City. And now I'm showing you where I'm going. I'm actually going to the post office. And yeah, it's just down the street from the cathedral, the Holy Redeemer Cathedral, and right next to these beautiful colonial buildings. Unfortunately, videos are not allowed in the post office, so I will be ending the video shortly.
We're not allowed to film in there, so I'm gonna cut this off and then I'm gonna get back to you.
Okay, so now on my way back, just basically taking you through the streets of Belize. This is a very quiet city. It is the major city in the country of Belize, but it's still a very quiet city, especially when compared to more developed countries. I think here we were not talking about much. We're just basically talking about the other side view of the Holy Redeemer Church. Blue skies, wonderful. I was actually trying, guys, not to catch people's faces in this. I'm trying to respect people's privacy and just taking you guys back on my journey. And from here we'll go into the other half of the city. So I am one half of the city, which is the north side of the city, and then I'm going over the north and south side are connected by the bridges. So I'm here at the north side of the city, and I'm now taking the swing bridge back over to the south side of the city, and I am in the major commercial area here in the country of Belize, which is actually within Belize City. And we're gonna walk back over the swing bridge and go on the other side.
September is coming up. Yeah, September is a huge month in the country of Belize. Not a huge day like the 4th of July day. It's like an entire month of celebrations, and I'm scared because we haven't had a September Raman Jam since 2019. So definitely it's going to be a big party here. Trying not to get faces. So basically this part is the heart, is the heart of the city. So when we say you're going downtown, it's usually this area we're going to.
Okay, so now I am arriving at Albert Street, and here I'm actually trying to show you guys the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, court was in session, and when court is in session, you're not allowed to film while the court is in session. So I had to film it from far away. We can't go in front of the court and film while court was in session. But that's basically our Supreme Court. I walked into one of the local grocery stores that I have here. This is Wentworth, and I'm just basically showing you guys the art supplies that are generally available in the country of Belize. Whenever they think art, this is what they think: Crayola crayons, crazy art crayons, pencils, basic sketchbooks, and that's it, and Sharpie markers. You know, it's not like, you know, and that's generally in every single store, even the our grocery store chain. You know, if you go to Walmart, you'll find Prismacolors and Canson. You won't find those in our grocery store chains here in the country. You'll find crazy art and sketchbooks. So don't knock the crazy art, because we've learned to work with it here in the country of Belize.
So I see some more stuff over here. Yeah, just affordable little stuff. My gosh, look at this. This is amazing. I think if you get this, you don't need to buy another set of graphite again. Okay, so let me go and look for those ceramic plates now. So So I'm standing
Okay, so
at the
now I'm
Supreme Court, but
actually
I'm not
showing you
filming it.
the
I'm
James
actually
Brody's
filming the
Company
James
Limited.
Brody Company
This is
Limited. Now
actually
this is
one
one
of
of the
the
oldest
oldest department
stores
stores
in the country of
in
Belize.
the
Believe it or
country of
not, it was
Belize. I
founded in
believe it was
1887,
made in 18
and across from the
something,
James
but
Brody,
it's very, very old. It
of course,
still exists,
is
still
the
at the same
Battlefield Park.
original spot. And now I'm showing you basically
Now
what we
this
call
park went through some
downtown. If you come
renovations,
to Belize and you ask
so this
someone
is
to
how
take
it's
you
now.
downtown, this is exactly where
And
they're
I
going
need
to
to go
take
to
you. I
that
am
store
actually
over
entering
there,
now the
the one with the red
Battlefield
flag
Park.
or the red
This park
marking,
has went
because
through
they asked me to
several
get something and I
renovations.
couldn't
It was
access it.
first
So
called
we took
Battlefield
something
Park,
for
then it was
him,
called Central Park, then they renamed it
and
back to
we're
Battlefield
walking
Park, and
through the
they
Battlefield Park.
renovated a bit.
It is
And now I'm
super
trying to
happy.
go from one street
Here
into
in
the other
Belize,
street, which
it's
the Battlefield Park
this is
connects.
the
And I'm
behind
taking you
the
guys to the bust
Belize
of,
Bank,
I
and this
believe it is Saparanis. What was Saparanis'
bus
first
belongs
name? I
to,
don't
I believe,
remember.
to
But
Chief
Mr.
Saparanis. I think
Saparanis
Chief
is
Saparanis.
he
Was
was the
a
one who shepherded in the labor movement and union
a
movement in the
revolutionist when it
country of
came to the
Belize.
labor
Antonio
movement in the
Saparanis,
country of
yes.
Belize.
He's the one who
So they
shepherded
put
that in,
him
and we have his bus
here.
in Central
And
Park.
I'm actually going
Ideally
over
in Central
there
Park, now in Battlefield
to
Park.
check a little bit
Ideally,
to walk on
Battlefield Park is
tours.
called Battlefield Park because this was where the union people, unionization actually mobilized from, and they felt like they were going into battle. I'm passing behind the Belize Bank, going into Hofias now. These, and next to that used to be the Barclays Bank, and now it's the Belize Bank, I believe, now own that building. So, you know, these were just old. If you watch old photos of Belize, you'll see that there.
Yeah. So basically, I'm what we call in the center of town. James Brody is over there. So if you ever ask to come to Belize and you ask to go downtown, this is where they're going to take you. Exactly where I am. So now I'm going to cut this off and go into Hopi. So now I have to walk towards my store. It's still pretty much early in the morning, so the city hasn't really woke up yet. But within the next 2 hours, the city's going to
Now
wake
we're
up.
walking down Albert
place
Street, and I'm
here
taking you to Mikado's.
that
It
has
used to be
Mikado's written on it.
No, that
This
wasn't.
used to
That's
be a
Palace
very
Theater. It's just like a movie theater. It was called Palace
movie
Theater,
theater here in the country of
and we
Belize.
used to watch
But
movies
then it
there.
was
And
bought
then it was
over
bought
by
over
Mikado's.
by the Mikado's
And
Textile
there's the big
Company
truck.
and renovated to Mikado's
Sorry.
store. So next to that was
And
actually
over
Bluebird's
there,
Ice Cream, where I used to
Bluebird,
love
I
to
used
buy
to like
ice
to go
cream
buy
from. Now
ice
the
cream
building is
there.
now
But
shut
now it's
down.
closed
I
down.
think it's a consequence
So now
of
I'm
the
heading
dreaded
over to
COVID-19 pandemic. It not only
now I'm
affects us
heading
by
over to
health but also
Mikado's
by
because I need
business.
to buy some textile to make sketchbooks with. And maybe I'll take a walk by St. John's Cathedral. Okay. So now I'm walking on the other side of the street. I was first on Albert Street.
Here we're going
Now
down
I'm on
Regent
the other
Street,
main
and that's
street here,
another
Regent Street.
part of the
And
downtown area.
walking down
And
Regent Street,
you will
I'm thinking I'm
notice
gonna
that
walk all the
on
way down and
Albert
come
Street
up
it's
back
very
Albert
hot and
Street.
humid, while
And
Regent
from
Street,
there, my
though
little
hot, is
tour
not
of
as
my little
humid.
country,
And that's
well,
because
the
Regent
most
Street is
commercialized part
just
of my
one
country
street
is going to be
away
over.
from the Caribbean Sea.
Because
So
I'm
that
already
cool
tired.
Caribbean breeze,
I've been walking
you
this
can
street
feel that
since
cool
8 o'clock.
Caribbean
It's now
breeze while
9
you're
o'clock.
on Regent Street. I think I'll be showing you guys that
I'm tired
within
now.
the
I'm
next clip.
actually
Sorry,
glad being
within
on
the
Regent
next
Street
clip,
because
the
one of the
Caribbean
benefits of walking
Sea
Regent Street is you
that
get
is right,
beautiful
literally just
Caribbean sea
right
breeze.
down from Regent
And
Street,
there,
right there. That's the Caribbean Sea, and you can actually feel
that's the
those
Caribbean
cool
sea right
Caribbean
there.
breeze while you're walking Regent Street.
So yeah. I really want to show you guys the St. John's Cathedral because it is a beautiful building. And this building I'm coming up on that looks abandoned is actually a very beautiful building. This building
While
was
on
built
Regent
like in
Street,
the
we come on
1800s.
across another
So
colonial
it's one of
building.
our
This one, I
old
believe, is
colonial
actually
buildings.
in
And
for
I
renovation.
remember
I think this
they said on
building
the
the
news that
city
this would
has
have been
taken over and they will
before
be
COVID.
renovating it.
The city
And so,
council
yes,
wanted
this
to
is
take
another
charge of some
colonial
of these old
building.
colonial buildings
A lot of
and
them are
renovate
still
them. And this is
within
one of
the
them, actually.
downtown area of Belize City.
You
They
can
kind
see
of look
a
a bit
similarity
old,
with the
but they're
styles
still
of these
standing. They have
buildings
survived many
compared to the ones that
hurricanes
I
and
showed
many
you guys
natural
earlier. So you
disasters,
have
and they're
this.
still there.
So definitely these are colonial buildings right here. And even though they look abandoned and old, they're actually very beautiful. So the next stop we're going to show you is the St. John's Cathedral. And then I'm going to end this little tour because I'm really tired.
Now from here we are coming up to the government house. Now the government house historical significance in the country of Belize is that this was the house where the governor general of the country of Belize used to live. We still do have a governor general, however they're not mandated to live there anymore. So this is probably one of the oldest colonial buildings in the country. I'm not sure if it's the oldest colonial house, but it's probably one of the best looking ones so far. All the furnitures and artwork that have been in the government house from 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, many of them are still there, and now they have turned it into a museum. So so that people can go in there and enjoy, you know, the beauty of the house. I'm just walking you guys now past the government house, the governor general's home.
So this house is now somewhat as a museum. In it has a lot of beautiful treasures, and I'm actually passing behind St. John's Cathedral, but I want to show the sign first. So this is basically the governor's house. That's why I said I'm so sad I didn't bring anything to sketch, because look at this beautiful colonial building here. Yeah. The big truck is from Sanitations. See? It's now a museum, but it's a beautiful building. A lot of old colonial furnitures are in there.
And across from the Governor General's home is actually the St. John's Cathedral. This is another oldest building in the country of Belize. Actually, I believe this is one of the first churches built in Central America. This church was probably built in the 1600s, thereabout, or 1700s, but it's actually, if it's not the first church built in Central America, it is amongst the first churches built in Central America. So it actually predates the Holy Redeemer Cathedrals. It's a very old building. I think I was talking about it being Protestant because you know, it was built during the time the King Henry religion ruled London. So yeah, it was the first church. It's a beautiful building. I so regret not taking anything to sketch, because I definitely would have taken some time out and do some art on this building. It is so gorgeous. I believe down there was illustrating the Yabra Cemetery. Now, back in the, I think it was in 1600s, 1700s, James Douglas Yabra had donated a plot of his plantation for us to have our burial site. So I believe from that area of St. John's Cathedral backward was the plantation of James Douglas Yabra, and the cemetery was named after him, and we called it the Yabra Cemetery. We don't use that cemetery anymore. We have another cemetery that we use, but because it's one of our oldest cemeteries, we still keep it for its historical value.
Here in the country of Belize, and he gave up a piece of his plantation for us to bury our dead, and it's called the Yabra Burial Ground, and it was one of the first burial sites in the country of Belize. So now I am walking up. I came off Regent Street,
and with one step, literally one step, we are back on Albert Street, going right down here. I'm in front of the St. John's Cathedral, showing you how beautiful the building is, how beautiful maintained it is. When this building needs renovation, it is not only the Anglican church that takes ownership, but also the country takes ownership of it, because I remember they had to do some major renovations, and the citizens of Belize had to also assist in the payment of that, because it is one of the oldest churches in Central America.
Ever want to come to a tropical country? Please come to Belize. Gorgeous buildings are here. Okay. Thank you.
Now we're walking down the Albert Street, and we will come across another old church in Belize. You can believe it or not, within 2 hours I visited 3 of the major churches and 3 of the oldest churches in Belize. We're coming up to Wesley Methodist Church. I think in this video I admitted to be a Methodist, of the Methodist faith. So basically that is central for us whenever we have any special services or anything, we go to the Methodist Church, and that is a beautiful building. Originally, the building was built in the 1800s, I believe, 1700s, but it wasn't this building. It was another building, and that was destroyed. I don't remember if it was destroyed by fire or hurricane, but it was destroyed, and in its place, they built this building. So this wasn't the original building like the St. Holy Redeemer Cathedral or the St. John's Cathedral. This is another building that was built. And so, yeah, this is it's gorgeous. Right across from the Methodist church and you'll see it in a minute, is actually the Hindu temple. And we have all sort of religions here in Belize, and each of them are free to practice their faith. We have laws against religious discrimination. So yeah, there it is, the Hindu temple right across from the Methodist church, and there is no ill will. You're free to practice your faith. You know, we have Hindu, Muslims, Buddhists. I'm a Methodist, Christian, all walk of life, you know, and you're free from religious prosecution. That's in our laws. And I'm actually just walking back down. Now, my journey ends exactly where it begins, here at the Novella bus terminal. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.